with Himalayan art, especially Buddhist and Bön, and even Hindu, it's very important to have some classification system for figures. So in Himalayan art, we actually have three main types of subjects. We have figurative art, narrative, and diagrammatic. Now, for the figurative art, we also have 11 main forms. And of the deities, then they take up five of the forms. They take up a peaceful, semi-wrathful, animal-featured, and warrior. So that's actually five of the 11 figurative forms or deities. But actually, it's important to come up with categories, even if they don't exist traditionally in the early Indian Sanskrit systems for Buddhism and Hinduism, or the early Bön systems for the Bön religion, the early Tibetan and Shangshung systems. Now, for deities, for the sake of teaching purposes, we've come up with 11 different types of deities. And one of those deities that's added to the five that we have already, one of them is universal deities. Universal deities, we could just define it and say something that looks like it has 1,000 faces and 1,000 arms and 1,000 legs. It doesn't always work out that easily. But any deity that looks like they have just a tremendous number of faces, a tremendous number of arms, and a tremendous number of legs is sufficient. And we have a certain number of these, and some are well known and some are not as well known. But we have a number, but the number is finite and easily to grasp overall. Now, one of the most common ones that we know of is the 11-faced, 1,000-armed Avalokiteshvara. This is a very early Buddhist kind of crossover between Sutra and Tantra figure. It's sort of proto-Tantra. Then we have the 9-faced, 34-armed Vajrabhairava. We have the 1,000-faced, 1,000-armed Sitatapatra, female deity. We have the 37-faced Vajravarahi. So we have many of these. In the Nyingma, we have the Mahottara with a large number of faces, often 21 at the most, but it can have far more. There's many, many different terma traditions, so we can find many different versions of this with what we can say are a universal number of faces and universal number of hands, universal number of legs. Also, we can find this with Shiva and with Vishnu in the Hindu religions, and we can find it in the Bön religion, especially with Sipeg Gelmo, the main female protector of the Bön religion, has many different forms, from a two-armed, one-faced form up to a really Ugya Jakdong. So we can have 100 faces, 1,000-armed form. Whether or not that's actually 100 or more faces, I'm not completely sure. So we have many, many different forms of these universal deities, but they're all finite. Really, we're looking at about 14 of them, and they're well known, such as I've mentioned. We can also throw in Manjushri there, Ekajati, Durga, even a rare form of Mahakala. So that's nearly all of them that we have in the list. And these are which is just for convenience and for clarity, we're calling universal deities.